Glam by Ham here, you guys. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling so much better so that I can finally bring you guys this video. Today's video is going to be about my gallbladder surgery, and I just want to say, number one, thank you guys so much for all of your recovery love and your recovery wishes and your prayers and your thoughts and your words. Thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. Even if you didn't know what happened and, you know, whatever, you heard it through the grapevine. I just appreciate, you know, your thoughts and your prayers. I appreciate everything from you guys. So if you guys don't know, first, let me just get it out the way. I stand 5 feet, and I don't want to, oh my God, I don't want to say my weight. I stand 5 feet and I weigh 170. So, you know, I mean, I pack it very well in some places. If you see me in person, or if you've seen pictures of me, you know I'm pretty much a thick girl. I've pretty much been thick all my life. I've always had breasts. I've always had an ass. Like, I've always had all those assets, okay? And I have definitely not been taking care of myself as far as being in the best of health over the past few years. I can definitely say that. But for the most part, it's like more so eating. So I just want to throw that out there to you guys. And then also be aware that I work in a very highly and stressful environment. I do work in retail, and it's very competitive at my store. We are on commission. So, and then also I am a single mother, okay? So I just want to throw all that out there to you guys before I start this video. I want to tell you guys what a gallbladder is, okay? So basically, a gallbladder is a very small organ. It's a part of your digestive system, and it's really small, like really small. And it is basically like an extension of your liver, okay? So your liver produces bile, which helps you to secrete and like digest fatty acids and things like that. And so basically the bile goes down, and then it filters through your gallbladder, and then it basically from there, like, your gallbladder does everything that it needs to do, and then everything gets secreted into your small intestine, okay? Now, I'm not a fucking doctor, so if I got it wrong, then oh well. But yeah, so that's basically what I want to touch on as far as the gallbladder is concerned. Now, doctors say that you don't need your gallbladder, but you kind of do, just to like digest like your fatty acids correctly. Because what happens is, when you lose your gallbladder, there's certain foods that you basically cannot, for some people, they can't tolerate it at all. For others, they can tolerate it, but in small amounts. And basically, yeah, so like that's like your heavily saturated cheeses, and all that good stuff. And if I sound like I'm out of breath, you guys, my stomach is still really swollen from the air, and I'll get to it, so I apologize for sounding out of breath. But yeah, I'm trying to like talk and breathe, okay? So anyway, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, that's what a gallbladder is, and it's like I said, it's basically part of your digestive system. Like, it helps you to digest fatty acids, fatty foods, fatty solubles. It helps you to digest them better, okay? My gallbladder problems started the beginning of April. So the beginning of, today's literally May 1st. It basically, to my knowledge, started like around the beginning of April. Now, I did have a lot of life changes in April. I just want to throw that out there. And so this will kind of lead up to like what I'm telling you guys. I did have several life changes happen in April, specifically on my job. It was going into trend, so it was a very stressful time. It was like 2 weeks to countdown, and we were doing a lot at work. And then also I had a lot going on at home as far as with Kennedy and things like that. And so there was definitely a lot more stress going on in the month of April. So Easter, the night before Easter was the first time that I experienced what I now know is a gallbladder attack. And so if you have these symptoms, like from what I'm going to tell you, then I would definitely get it checked out, because it could possibly be your gallbladder, okay? So the day before Easter, that night, you know, I went to bed early. I was off the next day because I was going to go to church and, you know, do all the Easter things and stuff like that. And I went to bed that night. I don't remember what I ate, honestly. But when I went to bed that night, like I said, I went to bed early. And I went to bed like around maybe 10:30, 11. And so I woke up to this excruciating pain around like 1 o'clock in the morning. And the pain was right underneath like my breastbone, right on that top abdomen area. It was just like someone was just punching my stomach, like punching it. And I was just like, oh, and like, I remember just laying in my bed like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, what is going on with my stomach? And so, the only thing that I could really attest it to was the fact that people at my job were sick. My counter manager was actually complaining of a stomach ache that week, and she was sick that week. And so I thought, well, maybe I'm catching something from her or whatever. So, you know, I took some Mylanta and I felt better, and I ended up falling back asleep. So I fell asleep maybe in about 2 or 3 hours or so. Like, it did have me up, okay? But, like, I finally fell back asleep. So, after I fell back to sleep, the next day, like, everything was fine. Everything was good until this past week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, the end of April, nothing happened, you guys, in between that time. Like, nothing. I never had, like, another spell or anything. My stomach never hurt at night or nothing, okay? So, this week, well, this past week, I was off Sunday and Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was going to Chanel training. I was going to Chanel Academy. And I was going in Virginia. I was going to Tyson's, Virginia or whatever. And so, I had to get up early every single day because I had to be in VA at 9:30. So, mind you, I was going to sleep really, really, really early all week long, trying to make sure I get my sleep. But I was also coming home earlier than normal, because normally I work like a mid, or I mean, I rarely ever, for the most part, get off at 5 or 5:30. So me getting off at 5, coming all the way from Tyson's, was like amazing. So basically, like, I came home and ate Tuesday night, and I went to sleep. Now, I was woken up again with the same pain that I had on Easter. And I'm like, you know, what the hell is this? Like, you know, as females, sometimes we brush things off because, you know, we're trying to be superwoman. I'm like, all right, you know, I got to get back to sleep. I have to get up really early in the morning. So I remember the last time I took some Mylanta. So I did the same thing. So this time I took the Mylanta a little bit longer to work. And eventually I just fell back to sleep. So the next day, Wednesday, the same thing happens. So I'm like, okay, you know, is it maybe the hotel food that I'm eating? Because, you know, the hotel food, they were serving us up some exotic shit. And I was like, well, maybe it's the hotel food. Like, maybe I'm just tripping, okay? So Thursday, so again, I was up. Wednesday night, again, I took my Mylanta, finally went away, I went back to sleep, okay? Are you following me here? So Tuesday, Wednesday, now we're on Thursday, okay? So Thursday, I get off from training. This is my last day, and I'm going to sleep. Now, mind you, the next day, I didn't have to be to work till 2. I was closing at the store on Friday. And this is the Friday that just passed, okay? So Thursday night, I went to sleep, and I went to sleep a little bit later, because, you know, I knew that I didn't have to get up too early. So I maybe went to sleep like around 12:30 or so. And I woke up abruptly at 2, and I just sat up in my bed. Like, literally, it was like a scene out of a horror movie. I literally just sat up because, like, it felt like something was stabbing me in my upper abdomen. And I mean, it was so bad that I started to cry in the bed. And I'm surprised my daughter didn't wake up, because she had snuck in the bed over, like I guess when I fell asleep, she snuck in the room. So she was in the bed with me, because I remember when I sat up, I like like sat up and I smacked her because I didn't know she was in the bed, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she didn't wake up. She never woke up. But so I was in the bed like tossing and turning and like moaning like, oh my God. So I took the Mylanta and I said to myself, okay, this is the third time this has happened. I need to go. I said to myself, I'm going to go to patients first in the morning, but I'm just going to go back to sleep and, you know, get some sleep, drop Kennedy off, and then, you know, go to patients first, okay? So basically, I stuck it out. This time I was up for like 4 hours with the pain. And so, oh my God, sorry, y'all. I gotta take a break. Okay, so 4:30 rolls around. I finally fall asleep. I wake up 6:30. I go into my mom's bed, and I'm like, Mom, remember that pain that I told you I had on Easter? I was like, it came back, and it hurts really, really bad this time. And she was like, basically like, child, if you don't take your ass to the doctors, you grown. I'm like, I know, I just want to be a baby right now. It's hurting. So I took Kennedy to school. Mind you, my stomach was still hurting. And like, I literally wasn't sleeping. So not only was my body tired, but like my mental was tired. Like everything was tired because I hadn't really slept all that good in 3 days. That being the third day, and so I was really kind of groggy as well. Like my whole aura was just off on Friday. So I went to patients first, and when I walked in patients first, the lady at the front desk was like, you know, how may I help you? And I told her, you know, my stomach is killing me. You know, I really need to see the doctor. She was like, okay, well, why didn't you go to the emergency room? And I'm looking at her like, bitch, why the fuck does it matter? Like, I'm here. Please help. The only reason why I didn't go to the emergency room at first is because I hate emergency rooms, and I dreaded being in there for 5 million hours, and I knew that I had to be to work, and I did not think that I would be going into surgery the next day, like legit. So that's the only reason why I went to patients first, okay? So basically, I went back, I told the doctor my symptoms, all that good stuff. She did some testing, like some pressing on my stomach, and I'm in there like crying because she's pressing on my stomach and it hurts so bad. And she was like, I'm going to send you over to the hospital to get an x-ray, ultrasound of your stomach. And then, you know, we'll go from there, basically. So she sent me over to the ER. I went to the ER, and basically, like, they took me, like, as soon as I got there. I went back with the triage nurse, and she, you know, took all my stuff down, my symptoms, and to tell my story like 1,000,001 times. So they put me in a room, and basically, you know, I told them, oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So Thursday night, I also threw up. Oh my God, that's like such a big detail of the story. So Thursday night, I also threw up, and I threw up 4 times, okay? I threw up the food that I ate earlier, and then I threw up bile. So just like the yellow acidic liquid. I was throwing up to the point where I was heaving and nothing was coming out. Like that's how nauseous I was. All right, so remember all that because I have not ate anything, and I threw up everything. So I hadn't eaten since Thursday. All right, so I get to the emergency room Friday or whatever, and the nurse takes me back finally, and I get into, you know, the room or whatever. I lay on the bed, and I'm just waiting for the nurse to come in. So the nurse comes in. And, you know, I tell them my symptoms and all that good stuff. So she's like, you know, I want to get some blood and then start an IV for you to get you some liquids because, you know, you threw up and you haven't had anything or whatever like that. So she put the IV in me, and, I mean, I don't care about needles. That shit doesn't really bother me. But she did a really good job, I can say so. So she put the IV in my arm, and then she took some blood, and then she started the liquid IV for me. So mind you, I'm in there, and I'm in excruciating pain. Like, I'm laying on this bed. I'm scared. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know, like, what is going on with my life. Like, I'm scared. So the nurse comes back in, and she sees that, you know, I'm crying, and she's like, are you in pain? And I'm like, yes. So she's like, okay, let me see about getting you some pain medicine. In the meantime, you know, we're going to get the doctor in here. So the doctor comes in, finally, and, you know, I was telling her my symptoms and all that good stuff, and she starts, like, you know, doing the same thing that the other lady was doing at the patients first. And I'm like, it hurts really bad. And I was like, and it hurts up here. and then it kind of wraps around my stomach and kind of goes to the bottom. And so she's like, okay. So she's like, let me go get the sonogram machine. I'll be right back. So she comes back in like maybe 15 minutes. You know, it feels like forever in the ER when they go to do stuff and they say they're going to be right back. Like, it feels like forever, because I was in ER for about 6 or 7 hours, okay, before I even got to my room. So the doctor comes in and she has the sonogram machine or whatever. So she starts to put it like on the areas that I'm tell her that it's hurting. And so, you know, she starts like going around and she's looking and she's taking pictures, and you know, the machine is like parallel to you, so you can't really see it. So you know, I'm just sitting there waiting for her to say something, and she's like, sweetie, and then she like puts the sonogram machine like on a area like towards the towards the right side of my abdomen. And she was like, can you feel that right there? And I was like, yes, it hurts really bad. And she was like, honey, you have gallstones. She was like, and they're big. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yes. And I think that it might be infecting your gallbladder. So I'm going to order you to go upstairs and have a more stronger sonogram done, because they just have like the handheld one. She's like, I want to have a more stronger one so I can see what's going on. So at this point now, I'm like, what the entire fuck like is going on? And so I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm freaking out. I'm calling my family, you know, I'm calling my mom, texting my friends, like, you guys, I'm in the hospital. They said I have gallstones. My gallbladder might be infected, whatever, whatever. So they wait on the pain medicine. She gives me some Zofran to help with my nausea feeling or whatever. And then she said she's going to give me some pain medicine when I come back from getting the sonogram. So the lady comes down to get me. I finally go upstairs to go get the sonogram done. So she does that for me or whatever, and she doesn't say anything because I basically already know what's going on. But you know, she's just doing like a stronger read on my stomach. I'm like, yeah, she told me I have gallstones. She's like, yeah, they're definitely in there. So she's taking pictures of them. She says they're pretty big, which was kind of scaring me, which is probably the reason why like my gallbladder was attacking my body. So basically I get back downstairs. They give me some morphine. A few hours go by. The doctor comes in, and she's like, you know, Amber, or she says, Miss Collier, she's like, you know, your gallbladder is fully inflamed and it's infected, and you need to have surgery today. And when she tells me that, I just look at her and I'm just like, okay. You know, I was kind of like already there to where I kind of knew that I had to have surgery. And so you know, I had already been like on Google like searching like, because I thought it was my appendix at first, and then you know, obviously come to find out it was my gallbladder. So she's like, you know, we're gonna have to do surgery to take your entire gallbladder out. So I was just like, okay, cool, let's do it. So of course, you know, everyone's freaking out like, oh my god, you have to have surgery, yada yada yada. You know, my mom is upset, my daughter's upset, I'm upset, like I'm damn near crying or whatever. Of course, after the doctor leaves, the doctor's like, you took that so well. And I'm like, you know, I just kind of figured that something like this was gonna happen. I kind of knew to the point where I packed a bag and I laid it on my bed, so that my mom could just grab a bag and leave. If that's not like a sign telling you that I already knew my fate, I packed a bag before I left to go to patients first, because I went home, I came back home, I took a shower, and then I left out. So I'm starting to, you know, the pain's starting to subside. I fell asleep, and my mom and my daughter and everyone came in, the friend of a family, came in with them, and they woke me up. I was like, you know, coming up from a nap or whatever. So they stayed until basically I got into my room. They actually was about to leave, and they came in and told me that they had my room ready for me. So I went upstairs to my room. Everyone came up, my daughter, my mom, and friend of the family that was with her. They came upstairs to my room, and I got into my hospital bed or whatever. And basically, you know, they told me that I was probably not going to go to surgery that night because the OR team wasn't ready and it was a lot going on in the ER. So they were going to have me scheduled for surgery in the morning. So I was like, great, I have all fucking night to think about getting cut the fuck open, okay? So anyway, I saw, you know, the night was cool. Everything was good at the hospital. The nurses were good. You know, they kept me laughing. I kept them laughing. You know, it was cool. It was nothing was bad or anything like that about the experience that I had overnight at the hospital. So I wake up like around 6:30 or whatever, and I was pretty much managing the pain well. Like, I really didn't have any pain because they have been pumping antibiotics and fluid into me all night long, and so the inflammation had calmed down a little bit because they were trying to get the inflammation down, because if they couldn't get the inflammation down, they were gonna have to cut me open, which is there's two different types of surgeries. There's the laparoscopic, which is the one that I got, and then there's the open stomach surgery, when basically they have to open up your whole stomach to take out your gallbladder. So luckily they didn't have to do that with me. Alright, so basically 6:30 rolls around. My nurse still doesn't know when I'm going into surgery, so I basically could not eat anything still. I was on liquids. I was cussing them out because I was hungry. I had a headache. I was sneaking gum pieces. Like, it was just so funny. Like, my life was so savage at that point. Like, I would have died to have anything to eat at that point in time. So basically, I went into surgery around 11:30. 11:30. Oh my god, I'm sorry, y'all. I went into surgery. I went to surgery around 11. They brought me down or whatever, and they had me on like the recovery bed. So I went from one bed to another. They had me downstairs, and the anesthesiologist came in. They had me sign papers for the anesthesia, and then had me sign papers about the surgery and everything, and basically, like, you know what type of surgery you're having, you know, all that good stuff, yada yada yada. So I wasn't really nervous at this point. I have been basically like praying all morning, you know, for just God just to keep me, you know, keep me safe, keep me well during the surgery, guide the surgeon's hands and allow him, you know, to make the correct cuts and nips and whatever he needs to do, and, you know, just to bless the surgeon and allow my surgery to go really, really well. So I was pretty much in good spirits, and I wanted the pain to be over. So that's kind of like why I wasn't really tripping. Plus, I've already had a major surgery. I had a cesarean, so, you know, and I was awake for my cesarean. So I'm like, if I'm going to be sedated, like, how bad can this be? So I go into surgery or whatever. I go into the surgery room. Anesthesiologist, you know, has everything hooked up, ready to go. I get in the room, and they switch me to the operation bed, which was small as fuck. Like, I felt like literally I was going to fall off that jump. Like, it was so small, so slim, so tiny. So I got on the operation bed or whatever, and I was just laying there. They had like the little arm area so that you could rest your arm there with the IV in it. And like the anesthesiologist came around to the other side of me, and he's like, okay, this is your sleepy medicine. And he basically, like, you know, gave me a little bit of it or whatever. And I forgot what I was talking to that man about, because my ass was knocked the fuck out. They didn't tell me to count back from 10, 9, 20 or whatever. I was just done. I was knocked out. So I didn't even know what happened. All I remember is waking up, and what woke me up is I was snoring, okay? I was snoring, so I must have been getting some good sleep. I was snoring in recovery. And my throat, I remember my throat being really, really dry from the tube. And like, they had the oxygen around my nose or whatever, giving me oxygen. So he took the oxygen, and he was like, you know, you're breathing on your own, you're good, so we want you to be able to, you know, breathe on your own. So he took the oxygen away, and like, as soon as like the adrenaline rush like came off for me, being asleep, I just felt all this pain in my stomach. Like, oh my god, it hurt so bad. So basically, the nurse gave me some more pain medicine, and I went back to sleep. And then I woke up like a few minutes later, and he was like, okay, you know, we're going to take you back up to your room. So they took me back up to my room. My food was waiting there, lunch, and the anesthesia was still like in my body. So I got into the bed. I didn't eat right at that moment. Like, I just wasn't hungry. I wasn't ready. I had been eating ice chips, and I was like, that was just like the best thing ever in life. I finally woke back up and ate maybe an hour or two later, and then they were literally like bringing in dinner. So I was like, okay. So I ate a little bit of the dinner as well. I mean, I was hungry, so I was eating solid food. I wasn't eating like soup or anything. They had soup, but you know, I just went in. Some people said that they ate like soft food. Like, I was going in. I'm like, damn, savage life. So they gave it to me, so I guess it was okay for me to have. So she was like, you know, we want to make sure that you eat a full meal. And she's like, I see that you're eating, so we are going to release you today. I was like, okay, cool. So my mom came and got me. I was released the same day after my surgery. And I came home Saturday. I came home like around Saturday night, and they gave me enough antibiotics to last me through the night. I basically had to fill my prescription for acetaminophen with codeine for the pain, and then the Leproxy, I think it's called, or something, which is an antibiotic, and basically I have to take that for 5 days. Right now, my pain level on a scale from 1 to 10, the only thing that's really painful right now is the fact that my stomach is still really bloated from the carbon dioxide. They blow your stomach up like a balloon in order to see on the inside and get to all the parts that they need to get to. So that's the only discomfort now, is my stomach is still kind of stretched out. And so especially when I eat, because the air is still in there, like, you basically, like, sorry y'all, but I've been gassy as fuck trying to get this damn gas and air and shit out of me. So the only thing that I haven't done is a bowel movement, and so I am going to the doctor's tomorrow, my normal doctor, because I may have to get a stool softener, because they said it's possible that you could get backed up, and you know, that's the last thing that I want to fucking happen right now, is for me to get back the fuck up, okay? So, yeah, you guys, I've just been, like, laying around and chilling. I haven't done too much. I've been walking around, you know, just trying to keep the blood flow going. My mom says, you know, I know you ain't gonna stay up in this house. No, I'm not. I will probably be out of here by the end of the week, but as far as going back to work, I'm probably going to give myself about 2 weeks or so to really, really heal, and that's just because I do a lot at work. I work in retail, I do makeup, so I'm always stretching, bending, whatever, and I need to really make sure my body is totally healed before I go back and, you know, start to do all the crazy stuff, you guys. Hold on. Yeah, scale from 1 to 10 right now, I would say my pain level is probably at a 5, just for the discomfort of my stomach. It's definitely hard to, like, walk. I feel a hell of a lot better than I did Saturday and yesterday, Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was just more about me just really, like, relaxing. I slept for most of the day. I took my antibiotic. I got my antibiotic. I got all my medicine yesterday because it was really late when I left the hospital. So the pharmacy was closed. What was I going to say? But yeah, so basically, like, I just been laying up. Like, I haven't done anything stupid. I took my first, like, full shower today because I had to let the band just stay on for 24 hours. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, you guys. Like, I just hope that this will make me feel better and that I won't get these pains back, because those pains were incredibly painful, okay? One thing I will say is that I'm definitely going to be, I'm trying to fix my pants, sorry y'all. I have on leggings, and I put this is the only thing I can put on that's comfortable is leggings. And I have on a freaking training bra. Like, I don't even care about my life right now. Like, whatever. But I'm definitely going to be eating differently. Definitely going to need to lose some weight. Hopefully I'll lose some weight with this surgery, though. I'm not looking for the surgery to make me lose weight. I don't want that to come across in a crazy way. But I am definitely looking forward to losing some weight with this particular procedure. What I will say definitely is that if you are having these pains and you're noticing that it's coming from eating, it's definitely probably your gallstone or your gallbladder, and you need to get that shit checked out. Like, seriously, you guys, this is so serious right now. I can't even be any more sincere with you guys. I love you guys so much. So I want you guys to be in tune with your body, you know, and really pay attention to the signs, because the signs were there early on. I just kept brushing them off, and that's not fair to your body. And you know, your body is a temple, and you should treat it as such. This is the only body that you'll ever get. And so I'm really grateful of this situation that happened to me, because it has really opened my eyes. I was working out last year, like relentlessly living in the gym, and so I gained basically all the way back from being lazy as fuck, and also from stressing so much for my job. And so I'm not gonna allow anyone or anything to stress me out anymore. I'm just gonna worry about me for right now. I think that's the best thing for me to do, and of course bring you guys fabulous videos. And I have a few lined up for this week and next. Since I will be at home, I will probably be cranking out a little bit more videos, so check that out, you guys. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And if there's any questions that you have that I may have left out from my surgery story, then you know, shout me out, let me know, DM me. I know that someone DM'd me on Instagram, and I accidentally erased your message, so I'm so sorry, because I guess I'm not following you, or you're not following me. I don't know what it is, but anyway, it asked me to accept the request, and I denied it by accident. So I'm so sorry. I hope that this video helps you. I would say the overall procedure was quick and easy. I mean, it's a very in and out procedure. It's a very non-invasive, I should say, surgery. So it's not something like open, like you're like open heart or whatever. Like, it's surgery is surgery. It's definitely serious, but this one's like a little bit less serious surgery, if you get what I'm saying. It was definitely scary, but at the same time, I wanted relief from the pain. And like I said, I continued to pray and just ask God just to keep me focused and keep me safe, and that's what really comforted me. It was definitely painful after surgery. It was very hard to walk, hard to cough, hard to sneeze, hard to bend over, hard to sit, hard to move around, hard to do any fucking thing but lay there. And so I was very uncomfortable the first night, trying to get comfortable in the bed and all that good stuff. So I would say, like, definitely take your pain meds. Don't try and act like you don't want them. Take your pain meds, and of course make sure you take your antibiotics so that you will heal early. I finally took off my bandages and everything. I'm not going to show you guys that shit because it's disgusting, but I did take off my bandages. There are like the sutures, the white sutures are on my skin to like hold the little incisions. I have 4 incisions, the biggest one being at my belly button, and then I have 3 growing across the top of my abdomen. They're really, really small, so I'm hoping like once everything is good, you know, I'll put some cocoa butter on it and then I can keep on living, okay? But that's it, you guys. I hope that this video has helped you and explained some stuff to you. I'm just going to be chilling for the next week and a half at home, just trying to get better, not stressing about anything, not worried about nothing but myself. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you. Again, thank you guys so much for all your prayers, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.